I never thought I'd pull a gun on my father-in-law in the middle of a five-star Manhattan steakhouse. But there I was, the cold steel pressing against my palm like a promise I couldn't take back. The room froze, forks midair, whispers dying like smoke, as Victor Hargrove's eyes widened, not in fear, but in that twisted amusement he reserved for moments when the world bent to his will. "Brooklyn," he drawled, his voice smooth as aged bourbon. "You always were the dramatic one. But pulling a trigger won't erase the blood on your hands from that little scandal 10 years ago. It was supposed to be our anniversary dinner. Mine and Alex's, the kind of night where champagne flows and old wounds scar over." But Victor had crashed it like he owned the place. Because in his mind, he did. He'd built Hargrove Industries from a dusty garage in Detroit into a beast that swallowed competitors whole. Tentacles in tech, real estate, even those shady private prisons popping up in the Rust Belt. And now, here he sat across from me, sliding a velvet checkbook across the linen tablecloth. The $1 million figure already inked in crisp black. "Leave my son," he said, casual as ordering dessert. "Walk away clean. He's too soft for this world. And you're poison in his veins." I laughed then. A sharp, ugly sound that turned heads from the corner booth where a senator nursed his scotch.
Poison?
If anyone was venomous, it was Victor, the man who'd framed me a decade ago when I was just a wide-eyed intern fresh out of NYU, scraping by on ramen and ambition. I'd covered for his embezzlement, falsified reports, shredded evidence because he promised it'd launch my career. Instead, it buried me under federal scrutiny. A slap-on-the-wrist plea deal that cost me my first job, my reputation, and 3 years of therapy to unlearn the guilt. Alex didn't know any of it. I'd buried that skeleton deeper than Victor's offshore accounts. But tonight, with the city lights winking like conspirators outside the window, I was done playing the grateful daughter-in-law. "You think a million buys silence?" I said, my voice low. The gun, Alex's old service pistol from his brief National Guard stint, feeling heavier than my wedding ring. I wasn't going to shoot him, hell. I wasn't even sure I could. But the weight of it, tucked in my clutch for protection after one too many anonymous threats from Victor's camp, was my equalizer. "Try this instead, Victor. I'll buy your empire. Every share, every dirty secret. And when I'm done, you'll be the one begging for scraps." He leaned forward, the candlelight carving shadows under his eyes, that silver fox grin splitting his face.
Bold. Brooklyn.
"But you forget I made you. And I'll unmake you just as easy." The rain-slicked streets of Midtown Manhattan blurred past the cab window as I clutched the gun in my lap, hidden under my coat like a guilty secret. Alex was still back at the restaurant, probably charming the waiter with apologies for his crazy wife, oblivious to the bomb I'd just dropped on his father. We'd met 3 years ago at a tech conference in Vegas, me pitching my startup, him nursing a beer after ditching a family board meeting. He was everything Victor wasn't. Kind eyes, a laugh that crinkled the corners, and a quiet rebellion against the old man's iron fist. Marrying him felt like flipping off the universe. A middle finger to the girl who'd once dreamed of corner offices and ended up in a cubicle hell because of one man's greed. But love's a funny thing in America. It's sold like apple pie. All warm and wholesome. Until the bill comes due. Ours started sweet, stolen weekends in the Hamptons. Him whispering about breaking free from daddy's shadow. Then Victor entered stage left. All charm and backhanded compliments. "Brooklyn, darling, you're a firecracker." But firecrackers fizzle out. He tolerated me at first, probably betting I'd flame and fade. When my app for tracking supply chain ethics blew up, netting me a Forbes 30 under 30 nod, he shifted tactics. Whispers to Alex about my shady past, anonymous tips to investors that my company's compliance issues were red flags. I'd ignored it, chalking it up to patriarchal bullshit. Until tonight. The cab dropped me in my office in Flatiron. The building a squat glass fortress I'd bought with my own blood money, no. My own sweat equity. Inside. The night crew, mostly immigrants grinding night shifts on code reviews, nodded as I stormed past. Heels clicking like gunfire on marble. My corner office overlooked the Empire State, its red glow mocking me. I poured a scotch from the decanter Alex had gifted me, the burn steadying my hands as I dialed my lawyer.
Elena Vasquez.
She picked up on the second ring. Voice husky from chain-smoking Merritt's. Brooklyn? It's midnight. This better be good. It's war. Elena. Victor just offered me $1 million to divorce Alex. I countered with a hostile takeover. Silence. Then a low whistle.
Jesus. Chica.
You got the shares lined up? Hargrove's a fortress, poison pills, golden parachutes. The works. I know his weaknesses better than he thinks. I sank into my chair, the leather creaking like old bones. 10 years ago, as an intern at Hargrove's Detroit branch,
Ide iduliza Victor.
he was the kingpin of American grit, turning auto parts into algorithms. When the auditors came sniffing around missing funds, $5 million siphoned into a Cayman shell, I was the one who typed the fake invoices, my fingers trembling over the keys. For the family, he said, clapping my shoulder, like we were blood. You'll be VP by 30. The feds raided anyway. I took the heat, pleading to misdemeanor fraud, community service in a soup kitchen that smelled of despair and bleach. Victor walked, promoted the whistleblower who ratted me out. Alex never knew. I'd lied, said it was a youthful mistake with student loans.
Now.
That scar was my weapon. I'd spent years quietly acquiring shares through proxies, shell companies in Delaware, fronts in Silicon Valley. 5%. Enough to call a special meeting if I played dirty. And dirty I would.
Elena Lauguet.
Dark and approving. All right. Rambo. First light. We file the tender offer. But Brooklyn Alex? He gonna side-eye this. He'll understand. Or he won't. But I'm not leaving him. I'm saving him. Hanging up. I texted Alex. Need space. Victor's bullshit hit hard. Love you. Lies layered on lies. The gun went into the safe. But sleep didn't come. Instead, memories clawed up. Victor at our wedding, toasting with that shark smile, whispering as he passed my glass, "Don't fuck this up, girl." And Alex, blissfully ignorant, dancing with me under fairy lights in the Hudson Valley vineyard, the air thick with promise. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, coffee bitter on my tongue as I suited up, black Armani, hair in a severe chignon, red lipstick like war paint. The drive to Hargrove's headquarters in the financial district was a gauntlet of honking taxis and suited zombies. The kind of morning where the Hudson reeked of diesel and broken dreams. Security waved me through. I'd been family long enough to bypass the metal detectors. Victor's penthouse office was a shrine to excess. Walnut panels, a Basquiat screaming on the wall, floor-to-ceiling views of Lady Liberty flipping off the world. He was waiting, feet up on his desk, a Monte Cristo smoldering in an ashtray shaped like a noose. Brooklyn. Sleep well after your little theatrics. Like a baby. I dropped the flash drive on his desk, encrypted files I'd hacked from a disgruntled ex-CFO, proof of the old embezzlement, plus fresher dirt, insider trading on EV stocks, bribes to zoning boards for those godforsaken prisons. This goes public unless you greenlight the buyout talks. His eyes flicked to the drive. Then back to me, calculating. Blackmail now? Classy. But you're in over your head. Alex knows. You know. About Detroit. My stomach dropped, but I schooled my face, poker lessons from too many venture rounds. Knows what? Exactly? That you were the fall girl. I told him last month. Said you hid it to trap him. Victor stood, circling like a wolf. His cologne choking, cigar, and old money. He's torn.
Poor boy.
Loves you. But family.
Well.
Blood's thicker. The room tilted. Alex knew our late-night talks. His gentle probes about my past troubles. Had they been interrogations? I thought of the way he'd pulled away these past weeks. Late nights at the office, his phone buzzing with deleted texts. Betrayal sank in like ice water. But I wouldn't drown. Not yet. Fuck your blood, I spat. Schedule the board meeting. Or this hits the SEC by noon. He chuckled. Low and mean. One condition. Dinner. You?
Me.
Alex. Neutral ground. We talk terms.
Deal.
I turn for the door, pausing. And Victor, if you flip this on me again, I'll burn it all down. With you inside. Down in the lobby. My phone buzzed, Alex. What the hell? Brooke? Dad says you're threatening him?
Call me.
Heart hammering. I ignored it, hailing a cab to Elena's office in Tribeca. The city pulsed around me. Indifferent. Hot dog vendors hawking mystery meat. Tourists snapping selfies with the charging bull. That symbol of Wall Street's endless greed. America. Land of opportunity until it chews you up and spits out the bones. Elena was pacing when I arrived. Her desk a war zone of legal pads and cold pizza. Shares are mobilizing. Your proxies confirm 4.8%. We need one more swing vote. Harlan Crow. That fossil on the board. Old money. Older grudges against Victor. Get me in with him. I paced too. Energy coiling like a spring. What about Alex? She eyed me.
Sharp.
You tell him. Or I will. This is marital Armageddon. Not yet. Secrets were currency. I'd hoarded mine too long to spend them cheap. Harlan Crow, 70-something widower. Rumored to have lost a fortune in Victor's '08 crash maneuvers. A lunch at Le Bernardin. Power plays over seared foie gras. But first, a detour. I slipped into a coffee shop on Wall Street. The kind with baristas who look like models and charge $9 for a latte. There, nursing my Americano, I scrolled X, formerly Twitter. Because who has time for rebrands? Searching Hargrove scandal. Whispers already. Insider buzz. Founder's daughter-in-law gunning for throne. Anonymous accounts. Probably Victor's bots. Painting me as the gold-digging harpy. Controversial? Sure. But in the Colosseum of American capitalism, controversy was just free PR. By afternoon, the call came. Harlan agreed to meet. At his club. Of course, the Union League. Mahogany and cigar haze. Where deals were sealed with handshakes and unspoken threats. He was a relic, tweed jacket. Liver-spotted hands gripping a gin and tonic. Eyes like chipped flint. MS. Hail, he greeted. No smile. Heard you're stirring the pot. Victor's a snake, always was. But why should I back a girl half his age with a fraud rap sheet? Direct hit. I slid into the booth, voice steady. Because that fraud was Victor's doing. I took the fall so he could keep his yacht. And now, I'm offering you a board seat in the new regime, equity, influence. Help me gut him. Harlan. He sipped.
Considering.
The club hummed, brokers barking trades. The clink of ice like rattling chains. Risky. SEC sniffing around again. But,
A pause.
eyes gleaming. Make it 2 seats. For my sons. Done. A handshake. Firm. The swing vote. That night. Back in our Brooklyn brownstone, ironic. Named after me but bought with Alex's trust fund, I faced the music. He burst through the door at 9 p.m. Rain-damp hair. Face thunderous. Brooklyn. What the fuck? Dad says you're blackmailing him with a gun? Over $1 million. I stood in the kitchen, wine glass in hand, the island between us like a barricade. He offered it to leave you. Like I'm some escort he can pay off. Alex deflated, running hands through his hair. I know. He told me. But the takeover? That's nuclear.
Brooke.
It's his life. And mine? I stepped closer, voice cracking. 10 years ago, I covered for him. Embezzlement. I did the time sort of. He threw me under the bus. And you. You knew. His eyes dropped. Guilt etching lines I'd never noticed. A month. He swore it was mutual. That you were in on the skim.
I
wanted to believe him. Family loyalty. You know. Family. The word tasted like ash. But beneath the hurt, a spark, Alex. Torn. Not fully Team Victor. Help me.
Then.
Vote your shares with me. We rebuild it together. Clean. He searched my face. The rain pattering like accusations.
I can't.
Not yet. Then, softer. I love you.
Brooke.
But this? It's gonna destroy us all. He left for the guest room. Door clicking shut. I poured another glass, staring at the skyline where the Williamsburg Bridge arched like a broken promise. Revenge wasn't sweet, it was a slow poison, seeping into the cracks of everything good. But I'd started this. No turning back. The board meeting was set for Friday, 3 days to marshal forces. A eternity in boardroom warfare where fortunes flipped faster than a Wall Street trader's conscience. I spent Thursday in a blur of conference calls. My home office transformed into mission control, whiteboards scrawled with shareholder pie charts. Elena barking orders to paralegals who looked like they hadn't slept since the Clinton administration. Alex ghosted me, holed up in a study with work, but I caught glimpses, pacing, phone glued to his ear, voice low and urgent. Victor. No doubt. Reeling him in like a prize marlin. By noon, the leaks hit. Bloomberg dropped a teaser. Hargrove Ayres' wife eyes hostile bid. My phone exploded, reporters sniffing for quotes. Investors hedging bets. I fired off a statement through PR, strategic realignment for ethical growth. Bullshit. Polished to shine. But the undercurrent was dark, X-threads dissecting my criminal past, memes of me as a black widow in bridal veil. Controversial? The internet ate it up. America's favorite blood sport, cheering the underdog or jeering the climber, depending on your feed. Harlan called at 2 p.m. Voice gravel over static. Your boy's wavering.
Yes. Hale.
Alex just rang. begging me to stand down. Says it's personal. Personal is Victor's game. I gripped the phone, nails digging crescents into my palm. Remind him of '08. How Victor tanked his portfolio. Left him scraping for board scraps. A chuckle. Dry as dust.
Oh.
I will. But Brooklyn, win or lose. This ends in fire. He hung up.
Fire.
Yeah. That's what revenge was. A match struck in the dark. Illuminating truths you wish stayed buried. Evening brought the dinner Victor demanded, neutral ground. He'd said. The Four Seasons Grill Room. Power Nexus, where deals died over dry-aged ribeyes. I arrived early, staking the banquette, ordering a martini dirty enough to strip paint. Victor swept in at 7:15, Alex trailing like a whipped dog, suit rumpled, eyes hollow. We air-kissed, the ritual hollow as a politician's promise. Brooklyn, Victor purred, settling in. You clean up nice after a threat. Save the foreplay. I nodded to Alex, who avoided my gaze, fiddling with his napkin. Let's talk terms. Wine poured, 82 Bordeaux. Blood red. Victor dove in, 10% premium on shares. You get a division, your ethical toy box. But the core?
Mine.
I laughed.
Sharp. Generous. But no.
Full buyout. Or the drive goes live. I've got backups. Victor. Cloud. Dead man switch. Alex flinched. Brooke.
Please.
Dad's offering a seat. We could co-lead. Co-lead. I turned to him.
Heat rising.
With the man who framed me? Who lied to you about it? Victor's fork paused midair. Steak juices pooling like accusations. Framed? Darling. You volunteered. Ambitious little thing. Thought it'd buy loyalty. Loyalty. The word hung. Toxic. Alex's face crumpled. Is that true? Brooke?
You.
Hid it for him. Partial truth. Weaponized. I hid it for the company. For people like your mom, who died believing in his dream. Victor's wife. Gone 5 years to cancer. Sainted in family lore. Low blow. But war had no rules. Alex shoved back his chair. Voice breaking. I can't do this. You're both monsters. He stormed out, the door swinging like a guillotine. Victor watched him go, then leaned in, eyes glinting.
See?
You break everything you touch. Drop this.
Brooklyn.
For him. Tempting. I sipped.
Steady.
But no. Meeting's on. And if you sway Harlan, I'll expose your prison deals, those rehab centers where inmates work for pennies, guards turning blind eyes to the bruises. His face tightened, first crack in the armor. You wouldn't. Try me. I stood, tossing cash on the table. See you Friday. Outside. The doorman hailed a cab. The night air crisp with exhaust and regret. Alex's text came as I slid in, need time. Staying at Dad's. Heart splintering, I directed the driver to my office. Sleep was for the weak. I had proxies to rally. Friday dawned brutal, thunder rattling the windows. Skies dumping sheets like divine judgment. The Hargrove boardroom was a coliseum, 20 suits around an oval table. Air thick with cologne and tension. Victor at the head. Me at the foot. Alex absent, his proxy abstaining. A gut punch delivered via email at 6 a.m. Elena flanked me. Laptop open to SEC filings. Harlan nodded from Victor's right, face impassive. The gavel cracked. Victor's doing? Theatrical bastard, and roll call began. Shares tallied. 48% for status quo. 47% for my bid. Harlan swing. Victor opened. Voice velvet over steel. Ladies, gentlemen, this is a family matter. Brooklyn's enthusiasm stems from marital discord. She's leveraging old grievances, unfounded. I assure you, for personal gain. Murmurs rippled. I countered, standing tall. Grievances like the 2014 fraud I covered? Or the ongoing insider trades? I cued the projector, screenshots from the drive. Redacted, but damning. Gasps echoed. Harlan's lips twitched. Victor blanched. Then recovered. Slamming the table. Fabrications. She's unstable. Pulled a firearm on me. Lies. Amplified. The room fractured. Loyalists nodding. Independents shifting. Harlan cleared his throat. I've seen the books. Victor. Oh, 8 wasn't a fluke. This bid. Cleans house. The vote. Harlan for me. 51 to 49. Chaos erupted, shouts. Chairs scraping. Victor lunged across the table. Face purple. You traitorous old fuck. After all Security swarmed, but not before his hand grazed my arm. A grip like talons. This isn't over.
Brooklyn.
Blood for blood. I wrenched free. Pulse thundering. Victory.
Pyrrhic.
As shares transferred digitally, billions in keystrokes, reporters mobbed the lobby. Flashes blinding. Hargrove ousted in daughter-in-law coup. Headlines screamed by evening. But elation soured fast. Alex's call came at dusk. It's done? You won.
Yeah.
Voice flat. Staring at the blood bruise on my arm. We did.
No.
You did.
I'm filing.
Brooke.
Divorce. This.
It's too much. Silence stretched. A chasm. Because of him? Because of us. What we became.
Click.
Alone in the brownstone. I cracked a bottle of bourbon. Maker's Mark. The good stuff. The city hummed below. Alive with deals and dreams. But mine felt hollow. Revenge tasted like ash. The empire mine, but the man gone. And Victor? Still scheming. I knew. The war wasn't won. It was just intermission. Saturday blurred into damage control. Pressers.
Investor Mets.
Elena high-fived over takeout tie. Your CEO.
Bitch.
Own it, but ownership weighed like lead. That night, a package arrived, no sender. Just a manila envelope. Inside, photos.
Me.
10 years younger. Signing the falsified docs. And a note. Victor's scrawl, leverage cuts both ways. Resign. Or Alex learns the full truth. How you profited.
2.
Bullshit. I'd never taken a dime. But the implication? Muddy waters. Enough to sway a judge in custody. Wait. Kids?
No.
But future ones? Or just the optics? Controversial queen dethroned by her own sins. I burned them in the sink. Flames licking up like accusations. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of boardrooms bleeding into courtrooms. Alex's face morphing to Victor's. Sunday brunch with Harlan, Victor's spoils. Now mine. His club again. But sunlight streamed kinder. Good work.
Girl.
But watch your back. Victor's filing countersuit. Defamation. The works. Expected. I forked eggs Benedict. Appetite gone. Any word on Alex? Harlan's eyes softened.
Rare.
Saw him yesterday.
Drunk.
Rambling about lost causes. Loves you still, I think. But pride.
Pride.
The American sin. Devouring dynasties. Thanks for the vote. He waved it off. Long as my boys get seats. Afternoon brought Elena's warning. Victor's lawyered up, top sharks from Skadden. And X is exploding. Brooklyn betrayal trending. Pics of you, and that gun shop receipt, anonymous tip. Of course. The gun. My bluff. Now viral news. I logged on. Doom scrolling. Fraudster wife takes down empire. Is this Me Too or Money Too? Comment split. Feminists cheering the glass ceiling smash. Trads decrying the family wrecker. Divided. As America loved. Heroes and villains blurring in the feed. By night. Resolve hardened. I wouldn't resign. I'd fight. Expose every rot. But the cost? Mounting. A text from an unknown. Meet me. Truth about Victor. A friend. Curiosity. That cat killer. I replied. Where? Central Park. Bethesda Fountain. Midnight. Risky. But secrets called. I bundled up, wool coat, boots crunching frost, and slipped out. The city a neon beast. The park loomed dark. Joggers ghosts under lamps. At the fountain, angel wings frozen in stone. A figure waited, hooded.
Slight.
Brooklyn. Female voice.
Edged.
Who's asking? She lowered the hood mid-20s. Sharp features. Eyes like chipped glass. Lila. Victor's assistant. Was.
Anyway.
Fired me last week for disloyalty. But I have proof. She thrust a USB. Recordings. Him admitting the frame job.
The bribes. And.
Alex. He knew more than he let on. My blood iced. What do you mean? Lila glanced around. Paranoid. Eavesdropped. Your hubby wasn't just in the dark, he helped bury it. After you confessed to him last month, he went to Victor. Traded silence for a promotion. Board seat. Betrayal. Double-barreled. Alex. My anchor. Complicit? Why tell me? Because fuck the patriarchy. She smirked.
Fierce.
And 50 grand doesn't hurt. For my startup. Mercenary. But relatable. I wired it from my phone. Hands shaking. Anything else?
Yeah.
Victor's planning a hit, not literal, but corporate. Sabotaging your first earnings call. Insider leak to tank stock. Thanks. I pocketed the drive. Watch your back. She melted into shadows. Back home. I plugged in the USB.
Headphones on.
Victor's voice. Oily. She took the fall like a champ. Alex? Keep him sweet. Boy's useful. Then Alex. But if she finds out, she won't. Not unless you blab. Tears hot. Unbidden.
Love.
The ultimate con.
But now?
Ammo. Monday morning hit like a freight train. Earnings call at 9 a.m. My debut as CEO. Broadcast to Wall Street's vultures. I prepped in the mirror. Power suit. Minimal makeup. Hair a cascade of controlled chaos. The boardroom hummed with tech. Screens flickering. Analysts dialing in. Elena at my side. Harlan dialing from his yacht in the Sound. Victor's sabotage loomed, but Lila's recordings were my shield, queued on a hidden server. The call opened. Good morning, stakeholders. Brooklyn Hale here, steering Hargrove into a transparent future. Questions flew, stock dips, integration risks, smooth sailing until MS. Hale, rumors of internal fraud resurfacing. Care to comment? Victor's plant, voice disguised but tinny. I smiled. Shark sweet. Rumors? Let's address facts. I hit play. Victor's confession crackling over the line. She took the fall. Keep Alex sweet.
Dead air.
Then pandemonium. What the? SEC violation. Stock ticker plunged 8%, then rebounded as shorts covered.
Chaos. My ally.
Post-call. Elena hooped. You eviscerated him, but expect lawsuits by lunch. They came, Victor's filing. $500 million defamation suit, claiming deepfakes. Alex's divorce papers arrived by courier, irreconcilable differences. No fault New York style. Hard as stone. I sign the waiver. Assets split 60-40 my way. Fair? In America's divorce mills. Fair was whoever lawyered hardest. Afternoon War Council. Elena. Harlan. My CFO, a bean counter named Raj with a Brooklyn accent thicker than fog. Stocks volatile, but buyback stabilizes. Fire sale on Victor's vanity projects, those prisons. Sell. I leaned back. Empire at my fingertips. But the thrill soured. Power without purpose was just a throne of skulls. Evening brought the unexpected. Alex at the door. Soaked from a sprint walk. Eyes red-rimmed. We need to talk. I let him in. Bourbon poured without asking. The living room felt vast. Accusatory, framed wedding photo mocking from the mantel. The recording he started. Voice raw. Dad forced me. Said if I didn't play along, he'd cut me off. I was scared, Brooke. Of losing you. Of being nothing without him. Nothing. I laughed. Bitter. You were everything. Until you chose. He reached for my hand. I pulled back. I choose now.
You.
Help me testify against him. Full truth. In court. Twist of the knife, or redemption. His eyes pleaded. The boy I loved peeking through the man. Controversial decision. Trust. Or torch. Prove it. Leak his countersuit docs. Show me loyalty. He nodded.
Fierce. Done.
But Brooklyn. Forgive. Not yet. But maybe. America sold second chances like snake oil. Maybe it worked. Kiss then. Tentative salt of tears. Heat of old fires. Bed followed. Tangled sheets a battlefield truce. Dawn found us spent. His head on my chest. We'll win, he murmured. Optimist. But the high crashed fast. Lila texted. Victor's escalating.
Hired peace.
Your intern days? Dug up associates. One's talking. The past. Exhumed. Tuesday blurred. Depositions. Media spins. X raged. Hargrove wars. Polls splitting 52-48 on my villainy. Empowering avenger or ruthless climber. Debatable. Deliciously. Midweek. Victor's countermove. Press conference. Tearful. Silver hair artfully disheveled. Family betrayal at its ugliest. My daughter-in-law. Once a victim. Now the perpetrator. Clips of me threatening him, edited security footage. Gun implied not shown. Public split. Sympathy swells for the patriarch, my polls dipping. Alex leaked as promised, docs proving Victor's deepfake attempts. Backlash swung. Victor lies trending. But the toll mounted. Anonymous calls. Slashed tires on my Audi. Dark underbelly of American ambition. Success's shadow. Paranoia. Thursday night. Crisis peak. Board revolt. 3 Victor loyalists tender resignations. Citing toxic leadership. Emergency meeting. Virtual, faces grim on screen. Harlan mediated. Steady.
Brooklyn.
Offer olive branches, severances.
Non competes.
I did. Swallowing pride. Calls made. Deals struck. Crisis averted. But fragility exposed. Empire on glass legs. Friday brought the hearing, preliminary injunction on Victor's suit. Manhattan Federal Court. Wood paneled like a coffin. Judges eyed me, mid-50s.
No nonsense.
The kind who'd seen Enrons come and go. Victor testified first. Oscar-worthy. She destroyed my legacy. For what? A crown of thorns. My turn. Calm. Recordings played. He destroyed mine first. This is justice. Not vengeance. Alex took the stand. Voice steady. I was complicit. But no more.
Dad.
It ends. Gasps. Prodigal son turned state's evidence. Victor's face. Thunderstruck.
Betrayed.
Delicious. Ruling. Injunction denied. My win. But judge's warning. Settle. Or this circus harms all. Outside. Paparazzi swarmed. Flashes like strobe torture. Victor brushed past. Hissing. You think this breaks me? I've got one card left. Dread coiled. What now? Saturday. Lila vanished. Phone dead. Apartment emptied. My PI traced her to a bus ticket. Chicago. Ghosting. Smart girl. But her absence echoed. Loose ends fraying. Alex moved back in. Tentative domesticity, coffee runs, shared silences. We're good, he asked one night. Over pizza in bed. Good enough.
Lie.
Half true. Trust rebuilt brick by brick. But cracks lingered. Sunday Eve. The card played. Victor's suicide note. Emailed to media. Bored.
Me.
Betrayed by blood and bride.
Can't face the shame. Forgive.
Dramatic. Reeking of ploy. Police called. Body not found. But staging suspected. Stunt or real despair. X exploded. Victor down. Murder or martyrdom. Polls. 60% hoax. 40% tragedy.
Me?
Accused in whispers. Cops questioned. Hostile words.
Yes.
Hail. Business. But eyes lingered on my bruise-faded arm. Alex paced. He's alive. Hiding. Plotting comeback. Agreed. Monday. Stock dipped 15%. Uncertainties tax. I stabilized with a buyback. But sleep fled. What if he surfaced? Guns blazing. Literal this time? Week blurred. Searches.
Leaks.
Lila resurfaced. Burner email. Victor's in Bahamas.
Yacht.
Planning proxy fight from exile. Leverage. I flew private to Nassau. First-class revenge. Salt air mocking. Docked at his marina. Guards waved through. Arrogance.
His flaw.
Victor on deck. Tanned. Scotch in hand. Brooklyn. Knew you'd come. No note? Sloppy. He grinned. Unrepentant. Had to flesh you out. Now, truce?
Kosot.
Alex mediates. Tempting poison. Or I seize the yacht. Assets frozen. His eyes hardened. One truth.
Then.
The frame? Alex's idea. He needed you indebted. To bind you. Young love. Messy. World tilted. Alex? Orchestrating my fall? For love? Twisted. American Gothic. You're lying. Am I? He tossed a folder, texts. Decade old. Alex to him. Use her. Make her ours. Nausea rose. Betrayal's abyss. Bottomless. I left without a word. Chopper whirring back to reality. Confront Alex? Or wield it? Silent blade? Back in New York. The city felt alien, skyscrapers leering. Streets choked with secrets. I holed up in the office. Folder burning a hole in my briefcase. Alex texted, miss you. Dinner? Innocent. Or act? I replied, busy.
Love. Stall.
Tuesday board call. Updates grim. Proxies wavering. Raj reported. Victor's suicide sympathy play. Investors spooked. Harlan chimed. Fight fire with fire.
Public mea culpa.
Humanize.
Elena nodded. Preser.
Family unity. Bring Alex. Bile rose. But strategy trumped heart. I called him. Tonight. My place. Cameras at 8. Confusion laced his voice. Everything okay?
Fine.
Lie's armor. He arrived early. Flowers in hand, roses, blood red.
Kishello.
Then the bomb. Victor's alive. Bahamas. And this. Folder slapped down. His face drained, eyes darting. Brooke. It's not. Save it. Recordings played his voice. Young and scheming. Use her. You engineered my ruin. For what? To own me. Tears welled. Genuine? I was 22. Terrified of losing you to ambition. Dad pushed. But I chose wrong. Every day since.
Eveatonet.
Atoned? By marrying the wreckage. Building beside it? Controversial absolution. Forgive the architect of your chains? America thrived on such tales. Redemption arcs. Box office gold. Prove it now, I said. Voice steel. Testify.
Full.
Or we're done. He nodded. Broken.
For you.
Always. Presser that night. Rooftop of Hargrove Tower. City lights a captive audience. Alex and I side by side. Hands linked, prop or promise. Microphones thrust. Questions barbed. Mr. Hargrove. Your father's suicide. Hoax. Alex leaned in. A desperate act from a desperate man. But the truth? He framed Brooklyn years ago.
I knew.
And hid it. I'm turning evidence over to the DOJ. For accountability. Gasps. Flashes.
Me?
Adding. This company's future is clean. No more shadows. Victor watched from afar. I knew. Feeds live. Checkmate. Fallout swift. DOJ raided his exile. Yacht impounded. Headlines crown me. Revenge queen or justice warrior. Debates raged. Podcasts pitting family destroyer versus corporate savior. Split down aisles. Conservatives decrying feminist overreach. Liberals hailing the takedown of toxic masculinity. No heroes. Just survivors in the gray. Alex moved out. Space to heal.
He said.
Divorce paused. Therapy mandated. Weary build, he asked at the door. Maybe. Hope. Fragile as autumn leaves. Winter deepened. Trials looming. Victor indicted. Fraud. Obstruction. His empire's husk mind to resurrect. I greenlit audits. Divested prisons. Pivoted to green tech. Forbes cover. Brooklyn's empire. From fall girl to fearless. But mirrors showed hollows, eyes shadowed. Laugh rarer. Spring brought twist. Lila surfaced. Not ghost but ghostwriter. Her startup? Funded by my anonymous seed. Coffee in Soho. Her grinning. You played me? Woman's world. Alliances shift. We laughed. Dark sisters. Then. The call. Alex. Frantic. Victor's deal, plea. But he wants a meet.
You. Declined.
But curiosity nod. Neutral. Riker's visitor room. Plexiglass divide. Air stale with regret. He looked diminished, orange jumpsuit swallowing frame. Hair thinned. Brooklyn. Victor. Wins yours. Bitter smile. But Alex. Tell him I'm proud. Flawed. But proud.
Why?
Because blood.
Pause.
And you fiercer than I ever was. Raise it right. Words. Weaponless. I stood. Rod in peace. Outside. Rain slicked freedom. Alex waited in the lot. Engine idling. What did he say? Nothing.
Lie.
Last one. We drove. City unfolding, Brooklyn Bridge, arching like absolution. Summer bloomed, trial verdicts, Victor. 15 years.
Me.
Cleared fully. Seals expunged. Company soared. IPO whispers. Alex and I, rekindled. Cautious. Dates in dive bars. Not ballrooms.
Love.
Version 2.0. Scarred. Stronger. But the twist lingered. Debates ember. Was it revenge or reckoning? I the villain. Saving the day through sin? Readers, viewers. America split eternally. Arguing over wine and screens. Happy? In patches. Tragic? Only if you mourn the innocence lost. One night. Atop the empire, my view now, I poured scotch. Gun long buried. City thrummed. Endless. To empires, I toasted ghosts. And to the woman who burned hers down to build anew.
No regrets.
Just the next fight.